Hi, the SI meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Monday, January 20th. Quite an amazing winter weather pattern is shaping up for the Mid-Atlantic region for the next week or so. Not one, not two, but three different Arctic air outbreaks will reach the region, and the first one that arrives on Tuesday will be accompanied by a snowstorm. It looks like 4 to 8 inches of snow will fall along the I-95 corridor on Tuesday and Tuesday evening from D.C. to Baltimore, Philadelphia, and New York City. That heavy snow will extend all the way down to the coastline, where they too can expect heavy snow accumulations during the day on Tuesday. Overnight lows tomorrow night in this first Arctic air outbreak will drop way down into the single digits, even in the big cities along the I-95 corridor. A second Arctic air blast is due to arrive on Thursday evening, and then a third one early next week. And that third Arctic blast will have its roots in Siberia, and it could cause some quite incredible cold in the northeastern part of the country in about a week or so. Well, let's start off by looking at the latest surface weather map. Here's the Arctic frontal system that will set the stage for all this wild winter weather over the next 48 hours or so. This is an Arctic front dropping slowly to the south and east. Today it'll be a mild day from D.C. across Philadelphia and New York City, with high temperatures reaching well up into the 40s ahead of this Arctic front. This front then slides through by early tonight and will settle in right in this region, right in here in the Mid-Atlantic coastal region, and low pressure will ride right along that frontal boundary zone on Tuesday and Tuesday evening. It looks like rain will not necessarily be an issue at all for this particular upcoming storm, as Arctic air will be driving into the region during the day on Tuesday. In fact, I would expect temperatures to slowly drop through the day while it's snowing down into the teens, even in the I-95 big cities, perhaps the middle teens by day's end tomorrow. So again, it looks like an all-snow event. Even down to the coastline, again, they too can expect up to 8 inches or so of snow out of this Tuesday and Tuesday evening. Well, let's go through this upcoming snowstorm using the GFS model forecast run from last night's 0Z. All of this forecast map information will be coming from last night's 0Z GFS model run. This is the forecast map of 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet up. And I wanted to show this because this shows the key player here is a very impressive shortwave here in the upper part of the atmosphere. Again, this is the forecast map for tomorrow morning. This is a shortwave kind of embedded in a long wave trough here in southeastern Canada and across the Midwest. And this is quite impressive. It will cause quite a bit of upward motion. Now, the computer forecast models had the impressive looking upper level feature all along, but they did not have much in the way of precipitation. And I learned a long time ago in my days at Penn State with my great faculty advisor, Dr. John Kerr, that if the dynamics is there, soon the moisture will follow. And indeed, the overnight runs of the computer forecast models have greatly increased the precipitation amounts, and it looks like it is a snowstorm coming to the I-95 corridor on Tuesday. Very impressive upper level dynamics here, and this is Tuesday morning. It slowly moves to the north and east, generating a storm along the Mid-Atlantic coastline. Well, what do I mean by the fact that the computer forecast models really intensified the precipitation? Well, this is the total precipitation for the upcoming event, Tuesday evening, from yesterday morning's 12Z GFS model run. Very little in the way of precipitation here. The lightest of the greens across D.C. into southeastern Pennsylvania, up across northwestern New Jersey. Now, again, this is from yesterday morning's 12Z model run. Now, let's jump ahead to last night to the 0Z GFS model run. And here you go. Quite a tremendous difference. A much more reasonable looking pattern here, given that upper level dynamics. Again, it intensified the precipitation from this to this between yesterday morning and last night, and the difference is several inches of snow can now be expected here if you believe the models, and I certainly believe this scenario rather than the prior one, given that upper level dynamics feature. Well, let's look at some forecast surface maps from last night's 0Z GFS model run. We'll look at this evening, and then we'll jump to 12 hours ahead to tomorrow morning, and then we'll look at 6-hour increments through the storm. This is by this evening. Northerly winds will be setting up overnight tonight. Again, that Arctic frontal system will kind of pass through unnoticed at the end of the day today. Again, we'll have high temperatures in the I-95 corridor, big cities, way up in the 40s today, ahead of the front. That front kind of slips through unnoticed later on this afternoon, early this evening. But what will be noticed is the drop in temperatures and the increasing northerly wind in the overnight hours. Again, we'll go from perhaps the mid-40s this afternoon all the way down to near 20 degrees in many I-95 corridor locations by early tomorrow morning. Here's the forecast map for early tomorrow morning. And this is from last night's Zero-Z GFS model run. The precipitation in the form of snow just now edging into the D.C. region. It looks like it'll arrive in the early morning hours as snow in the D.C. metro region, probably just after rush hour in the Philadelphia metro region, perhaps mid to latter part of the afternoon, and at the end of the morning or the midday hours in the New York City region. Again, the rush hour in the morning in D.C. could be affected by the snow, probably spared in Philadelphia and New York City, as the snow is likely to arrive just after the morning rush hours in those areas. And in all areas, it'll pick up in intensity during the afternoon. Well, here's the forecast map for early afternoon. Low pressure now right along that Arctic frontal boundary zone along the mid-Atlantic coastline. Pretty healthy looking precipitation pattern, all in the form of snow now, cutting across West Virginia, the D.C. metro region, into Philadelphia. Again, intensities in the snow in Philadelphia will pick up during the afternoon, and also in New York City during the mid to latter part of the morning hours. The intensity will be noticed in the D.C. metro region. Let's now jump ahead 6 hours. And here's the forecast map for early tomorrow evening. Still snowing across the I-95 corridor, but perhaps winding down at this time in the D.C. metro region. Low pressure sitting off the mid-Atlantic coastline. All of this in the form of snow, even down to the Jersey coastline. They too can get up to about 8 inches of snow, perhaps even a little higher than that along the coastline in places like Long Island, down across the central and southern New Jersey coastline. It could even be slightly higher amounts. I'm expecting a general 4 to 8 inches in the I-95 corridor location, including the suburbs to the north and west of the big cities. Let's now jump ahead 6 hours. And here's the forecast map for the middle part of tomorrow night, about 1 o'clock in the morning. Snow finally winding down across D.C., Philadelphia, and New York City. Just bitter cold air pours in on the backside of this. Actually, during the day tomorrow, again, temperatures will very likely drop way down into the teens, even in the big cities during this snow event. It'll end up being a dry type of snow because of how cold it will be. And tomorrow night, temperatures will easily go down into the single digits, even in the big cities along the I-95 corridor. And this is just the beginning of this very cold weather pattern. A second Arctic blast is due to arrive Thursday night. That'll reinforce the cold pattern. And then a third one early next week. And again, that third one looks like it has its roots in Siberia. It could cause some incredible cold across the northern part of the U.S. early next week. So a snowstorm combined with the first Arctic blast on Tuesday. That's it for now. Stay tuned to the SIweather.com. I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.